All right. Welcome back to It's Time Picks. It's been 2 weeks and we are finally back up. We've got UFC Fight Night, Kai Kara France and Amir Albazi. Can't wait to get over that fight. But Joey, what do you think of this card, man? It's actually pretty good for a fight night.
Yeah, for a fight night, first fight night back in 2 weeks, which I missed my fights as a whole. As a whole, this fight card looks not that bad. I thought originally it was gonna suck, but talent wise, it's not that bad. I'm actually excited.
Yeah, no, not at all. All right, well, let's jump right into it. First fight, we are going to go off of the Tapology order right now because there was another pull-up and the card will probably get shaken up again. First up, we got Maxim Grishin and Philippe Lins. And you know what, Joey, we'll let you take it first.
Okay. To me, who's the more dangerous fighter is gonna be Lins. He's more well-rounded. But Messi Grishin, I do give the slight technical edge. He's more precise. He has the more timing shots. How I honestly see this fight, it could be a two striking match type of match, but I think whoever wins this fight needs to get it done in round one, even at the price tag of Lins, because Lins does tend to slow down throughout the fight. But who's dangerous throughout more is Lins. But my pick's going to be Max and Grishin. I
Ooh.
think he's going to end up potentially. Look, if he gets out of round one, Lins does slow down a little bit. And as a potential live bet, I may look at Grishin for the money line in case, especially if he loses round one, you can get some plus money on it quick. So I'm going Grishin by decision. But I
All
think
right.
for DFS, I'm fading.
Well, not a bad choice. I am on the opposite end of things. However, while I was writing my article, I did say something very similar to what you have. I basically have it Lins by finish or Grishin by decision. So I don't disagree with you, but I really like what I've seen out of Lins in the last two fights. He's really stepping up. It's almost like he's back to what he was primed to be earlier in his career.
His
So
PFL.
I feel like if he comes out the same way that he did in the last two fights, he's going to knock Grishin out in the first round. So that's what I'm banking on. I'm going with Lins. So that first fight's always a killer for us, anyways. So
Uh,
next up, we have Luan Lacerda and Damone Blackshear. I Blackshear really did impress me in his last fight against um
uh, Basharat.
Sharad, the younger brother Farid, and his grappling looked really good in that matchup. And Basharat's more of a wrestler, but in this case, I think he's going to get toast because Lacerda is twice the grappler that Basharat is. And it only takes one choke to get somebody. I think Blackshear's going to really struggle with Lacerda, and Lacerda is probably one of my safest picks on the card.
You pretty much took the notes I wrote down. I'm on Lacerda as well. At first, during the early week, I was like, okay, Blackshear is tough. Could he maybe? I think, oh my god, if you go by striking standards, I think he's the better clean striker when it comes to boxing. But Lacerda's kicks are nasty. And one thing, if Blackshear's really going to succeed, he's going to have to get to the ground. And look, if Cody Staman's not getting him to the ground, Blackshear's not getting him to the ground. And it wouldn't shock me if Lacerda by himself got his own takedowns and got dominant
Absolutely.
position. And it wouldn't shock me within the first 2 rounds if he does it. Who knows? Maybe it's gonna be a sub. But I do like Lacerda at 8,700. He is a safe play. Um, but yeah, originally I was almost picked Blackshear 2 weeks ago, but more videos I watched, I'm like, no, I think Lacerda. This is gonna be a winnable fight for Lacerda for the UFC. We're having a good fight with Damon, so I'm gonna go Lacerda.
I agree. So both of us going with Luan Lacerda. Next up, we've got the aging Jinu Frey and Elise Reed. And who you got in this one, Joey?
So before I make my pick, I remember when I said that Karolina Kowalkiewicz was going to light up Vanessa Denopoulos like a Christmas tree in the striking. And what happened? She did.
Yeah.
I think the same thing's going to happen. I think Elise Reed is going to light her up like a Christmas tree with her hands. Look, I'm sorry, none against Jinu Frey. She's a natural 105er because the UFC doesn't have a 105. She had to gain some muscle to get to 115. Elise Reed, don't get me wrong, she is fast with the hands. Her takedown defense can use some work. Maybe if we'll see how it goes right there, but I think Elise Reed's gonna. Oh, she may potentially knock her out. I'm on Elise Reed. I think she's gonna light her up like a Christmas tree.
I am also on Elise Reed for a lot of the same reasons you said, but I also think that Junior Frey has no cardio anymore. She's 38 and she only tries to wrestle now, and Elise Reed is the better wrestler. I don't see how Frey wins this fight. So
I think Reed's gonna potentially knock her out. If you're getting knocked out by
I
Patrick
can
Vienna
I, I
badly
can get
like that,
behind that.
at least
I
Reed has lightning hands.
I can get behind that. All right. Next up, we have Daniel Santos and Johnny Munoz Jr. I already know that you're not a big fan of Munoz and think that he's overrated. I don't entirely disagree with you. I am also on Daniel Santos. I think Santos is better everywhere. Munoz, he's got hands here. All he's got to do is catch the chin. So if he does it, I'm not going to be surprised. But Santos is definitely the better fighter. He should have control of this entire fight, and he should win this.
As much as I'm not a big fan of Munoz, don't get me wrong, he is tough in his own right, but he does have sneaky good Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He's durable for the most part, unless he got knocked out by Gravely, which I'm not considering Gravely a striker. I think he just landed that one power punch that actually put him to sleep. I think if Santos stops that first takedown, I think he's gonna let his hands fly in this fight, do some crafty type shit, rock him, and who knows, maybe he'll go for a submission. But I think he's just gonna TKO him. My guess within the first 2 rounds.
I don't disagree at all. A little pricier than I'd like at
Yeah,
9,200. I'd rather go with Lacerda at 87, but
I agree.
Santos, he's not a bad cash play. So,
Hmm.
uh, especially with the amount of salary savers we have on this card. So, next up, we have Andre Arlovsky and Dante Mays. And I'm actually really curious to see what side you're on for this fight.
Oh God, can I just skip this fight? It's called one eight
You want
hundred.
me,
Don't touch.
you want me to
Um,
go first?
yeah, you go first.
All
This
right.
thing going from the
So
room.
I basically said that this is going to be a boring ass fight because neither one of these guys throws a lot. And Arlovsky likes to, now that he's a little older, he fights really, really defensive. Mays just likes to throw power punches. I don't think he's going to be able to hit Arlovsky. I don't think he's going to drop Arlovsky. So I think it's going to be Arlovsky by decision with maybe 70 points.
If that.
Yeah. So that's
So
where I'm at.
the only thing that scares me is okay. First off, I'll say my pick is Arlovsky. Am I have any type of confidence? Hell no. Because look, Arlovsky gave up his last fight. He didn't look. Marcos de Lima touched him. He fell. He didn't guard the choke for anything. He's like, oh crap, you got my neck. All right, quick little tap.
Yeah.
I tell Mays somehow he was a big favorite against Augusto Sakai, and we saw how that went.
I took Mays in that fight because I
Oh, did
thought
I?
Sakai
I'm
was
so
done,
sorry.
and man, he made me look stupid. So
And the only way Dontel Mays does this, he better hope he lets his hands fly the first 3 minutes of this fight, and he better hope he lands one of those insane power because he does have power. That's the
yeah.
only way I see Dante winning this fight if he lands one of those insane from hell punches. If not, I think it's gonna be boring.
Yep, absolutely. I'm right there with you.
I'm not touching this fight for DFS for anything. Don't waste your money. But yeah, it's Arlowski, but I don't have no confidence in either way in one of these
No,
fights.
not either. Nope. So both of us going with Andre Arlovsky. By the way, that was your first dog.
Wait, what? Oh, was it?
Yep.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
Next up, we have John Castaneda and Ween Gafarov. And I'm really excited for this fight. I'm gonna let you go
Ooh,
first.
yeah. So Castaneda, he just got finished by Dino Santos. Gavrinov, I believe he came in from the contender series, but as a whole, he is a well-rounded guy. He trains with good guys as a whole. And then I know lately he's been really training with Marab, Aljo. He's been training with some good guys, and his wrestling is on point. He's a better wrestler than Castaneda. I think Castaneda's
Easily.
faster with the hands, but this kid, he's a chain wrestler, and he's damn near good at it. I'm actually going the underdog number 2 with Gavarov. He can't fade a Russian, man.
Oh, he
Underdog
is the dog,
Russian
isn't he?
and underdog Russian with good ass chain wrestling. I can't fade that.
I am also on the dog. I completely forgot that he was a dog. I don't know anybody in the right mind that would put John Castaneda as a favorite. So, yeah, I am also on Gafarov. Gafarov's a finisher. He's going to finish this fight in the first round.
Beast.
Yeah, he's really good. I definitely recommend. I mean, okay, so this fight as a whole needs to be played in DFS, I think, because I don't think
Yes.
this goes to a decision. I think that this does likely end in the first, maybe the second round. Even in the second round, it's guaranteed 70 points plus whatever else happens. Um, I do think that there will be a knockdown in this fight, so that's another 10 points. So definitely a fight that you want to play. But I am also on the dog.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. All right, so both of us going with Gafarov. Next up, we have Oh man, Alizu Zaleski dos Santos
Ooh.
and Abubakar Nurmagomedov. That's a mouthful.
Very big.
Yeah, no, I like Dos Santos. I think he's a great striker, and I think he has an opportunity to light Nurmagomedov up, but I don't see it happening. This is one of those Nurmagomedovs that does what they do. And in the last two fights, he's had 12 minutes of control time on top of his takedowns. And I just see that happening again. He's going to suffocate him. He's going to have probably at least 8 minutes of control time in this fight. He's going to score over 100, get him in your lineup and call it a day, especially because I think he's a dog on this. Yeah, he is. I think he's
Yeah,
7,900.
7,900.
Ridiculous. Absolutely
And
ridiculous. Get him in
especially
your
with
lineup.
Dos Anjos being laid off for almost 2 years.
Yeah, so get him in your lineup, lock him in. That's my lock of the card. That's my dog of the card. Call it good night.
I was actually thinking, because I know how you're more of a better crafty striker type of person, and I like to go with the grappler, but I'm also on Nurmagomedov. Um, if after that win he got over Saint Denis, if he didn't take a long layoff, I may have considered picking Dos Anjos because he's faster with the hands, he's crafty as hell. But like I said, Nurmagomedov, they go by the name for the most part, for most of them. And what did they do? They wrestle. Um, but last time I believe I saw, he's gonna need multiple takedowns because what the last few fights he only got one takedown, one takedown, one takedown. I think he's gonna chain wrestle the shit out of Dos Santos.
The only reason he had one in his last fight, so he had 8 minutes of control time in his last fight. He had that takedown and then he got taken down and immediately flipped it. So
Yep.
I'm not worried about anything on the mat.
Yep.
I'm not worried about Dos Santos stuffing these takedowns. This is going to be a Nurmagomedov stuffing, suffering goodbye.
Yeah, I also love Nurmagomedov, and I may be throwing some unhealthy money on him, but hey,
All right. Next up, we have a now favorite in Jamie Malarkey against Muhammadjan Naimov. And we don't need to spend a whole lot of time on this
no,
because Naimov is it's a really short notice debut. He looks like a decent fighter, but he's going to come in against Malarkey, who has looked extremely impressive. I actually think that we will see Malarkey in the top 15 soon if he continues fighting the way that he has been. And this is at 6,700. This is a lock. You can skip the chalk if you want, but it might bite you in
don't
the
do it.
ass.
No, don't say no. Might skip. Don't no. Don't no. Do not skip the chalk. Your first building piece should be Malarkey because you can build any type of way you want. I don't care
Yep.
if it's cash, GBP, whatever you want to do. Want to hear something? I almost picked Malarkey against his original opponent.
I had Malarkey already. I
Ooh,
was on. I was on him the entire way. I was pissed that Kutulidze withdrew because I wanted Malarkey at 6,700 against him.
high five. Yes, sir. So yeah, I'm gonna make this short. Eat the chalk Malarkey. It's 6,700. You cannot pass that up. This guy, name him off. He's a natural 45er, and he got absolutely controlled against Kyle England. And we
Yeah,
know what happened to Kyle England ever since getting into UFC. He's been on a lose. He hasn't won a fight since the contender series
0 and
fight.
2.
He's not even in the UFC no more. He's losing outside to bums in other organizations. I think Malarkey's going to work with the hands. Malarkey's going to take him down, and he's going to absolutely beat the dog piss out of him.
Yep.
It doesn't even matter. I think he's going to score over 100 points in this fight.
As
And
do I.
700, you can't pass that up. Don't be dumb. You put him in your line.
Absolutely. Easy enough. Both of us going with Jamie Malarkey. Should be a locked piece everywhere. That's every contest. Next up, we have Kareem the Killer Silva and Ketlin Souza. And I will let you take this one.
All I know is I give it within the start of what month again? June. I'll give it in the start of 2024. About the middle of 2024, Silva will be ranked.
Yep, absolutely.
She look, not usually most females are usually one or the other. Good power. This girl is both. She has striking and her jiu-jitsu is nasty. And from what I've seen from Caitlin Sosa, I think she's good. She took the fight on, this was I thought this was gonna be on short notice, but she had a full camp, but her takedown defense is trash. From what I've seen, her takedown defense is absolute poop water. But her style reminds me of almost like a mini Andrade. She'll come forward, throw heavy, but I think Silva's gonna get one takedown in this first round. Fight's gonna be over.
I don't disagree. I also have Silva. I think this is a fight that Silva should completely dominate. Souza has impressive wins and she's got an impressive fight style, but it's all striking and nothing else.
They nothing.
Could she crack Silva? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt about it. She's got the power to do it, but I think Silva just bull rushes, takes her down, and calls it a night.
Yeah.
That's another pretty big lock piece for me.
Yes.
She is 9,300. She is up there, so she does need probably an early finish to pay off. But
Or a lot
with
of control time.
the amount of dogs, it's pretty easy to get her in there.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Tim Elliott and Victor Altamirano, and I am going to let you take this one first.
I'll tell you right now, my pick flipped 5 times.
Okay, well then I'm going to go first because my pick did not flip. I am almost always on Tim Elliott, and I am not. Victor Altamirano showed me everything that I wanted to see against Salvador in his last fight. And I think the only thing that Elliott's going to be able to do is the same thing he does in every fight. He chain wrestles and then he gets tired. And if he does that, he's going to get smashed. I think Altamirano is the better striker. I think he keep up with the wrestling, and I think Altamirano just completely dominates this fight.
So for the longest time, I was on Tim Elliott. I'm not trying to bring this up for a reason, but I'll just sum it up. And he had some, away issues and ex-wife issues. I'm not going to go in detail about, but you can probably look it up yourself. It's not good. It's messed up to an extent. And he's coming out saying, "Oh, I'm going there to get a finish. I'm gonna go get me a finish. I'm gonna go get a finish." And I know Victor Amarino, he's also taking this on what's it, 2 months, short notice.
All right. We are back. Sorry for that little pause there. Joey, you were talking about Elliott and Altamirano. Where are we at?
Pretty much, Altamirano is taking this on 2 months short notice, but all I'm gonna say is every time he stepped in the cage, he's been looking more and more impressive. And originally, I was picking Elliott, but at the way that Altamirano is improving so quickly, I'm gonna keep riding the Altamirano train.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. Both of us going with Victor Altamirano. Next up, we have all right. So this is a fight that has just received a replacement. This will be Jim Miller. He was against Jared Flash Gordon. Gordon is now out, and the replacement is Jesse Butler. Not a whole lot to go on here. He's looks like a submission specialist. I don't think it's anything Miller can't handle. Miller should win this fight.
Yeah, to sum it up, should easily win this fight no matter where. Butler does look, he does tend to come in a little bit aggressive, he does have decent power, but his striking is still very green. And I honestly think they set this up. I think if Miller wins this fight, I think he like break a record for the most wins again. I know I think him and
one of
Arlovsky
those records.
him and Arlovsky are like this for like the total wins or some kind of sort, but I don't see a problem where I think Miller could easily just knock this kid out within 2 rounds. Or
Definitely.
I haven't seen anything much about Butler, so from what I've seen, just BJJ and very green.
Absolutely. Next up, we've got Alex Caceres and Daniel Pineda. And where are you at with this one?
This might actually be a decent fight.
I agree.
I think Pineda's going to come out aggressive like he always does the first 3 minutes. And after round one, he's going to tend to slow down some. The crazy thing is, if Bruce Leroy didn't lose to freaking Youssef, he'd be on a 7-fight win streak.
Yeah, and that fight could have arguably gone to him.
Yeah, I thought it did go to him personally, but I'm on a Caceres. I think he's going to survive the storm early. I think he's going to work on some kicks after when Pineda goes crazy early. But the one thing that does scare me, especially, like I said early, if Pineda gets him down, he's going to be the better grappler. He's going to be the stronger grappler. But I think after the 4-minute mark, later on, like I said, Pineda does tend to slow down. He showed that against Cub Watson. I think Alex is going to light him up 1-2, maybe throw some kicks in. I'm leaning a decision, but it wouldn't shock me. Depends on how Pineda looks in like round 2.5, 3 mark. Maybe Caceres gets a late finish, but I'm leaning more Caceres by decision. But
yep, I've got Caceres as well. But what did I tell you the last time Pineda was on a card? I said that there was a chance that he could do it. He did it.
he bought it.
Irritated the shit out of me because I didn't take him. But I am on Alex Caceres in this fight. I think his improvements are quite vast. That said, Pineda is a finish machine, 28 of
Mhm.
28. And if he wins this fight, it will be by finish. So he should be in your pool. It's easily another dog, but there's so many other dogs. It's hard to, you could have a lineup of six easily. So both of us going with Bruce Leroy, Alex Caceres. And next up, we have the
Main event.
main event with Kai Kara France and Amir Albazi. And I'll tell you straight away, I am all over Kai Kara France. A lot of it because of that takedown defense, which is absolutely elite. I'll let you do those numbers. Amir Albazi is getting a massive step up in competition here, getting France. He's a great fighter. He absolutely will be there and in it the entire time. But I do think that Kara France records a knockout in the championship rounds.
Okay, so you pretty much took my notes of the pretty much of the breakdown.
Perfect.
France has like a 86% takedown defense, and throughout all his opponents combined, I think what was it, like 5 for 30
Something
something.
like that.
It was like a total of like 13% takedown accuracy. But the only guy out there, I'm not gonna lie, the only guy he really fought that has some sort of a takedown is Askarov. And besides that, they're just guys shooting takedowns because they get rocked. And I almost want to go Albazi because look, he's a hungry fighter, but he hasn't fought nobody yet. Like none against. Yes, he got a short notice win against a guy that, maybe he's usually caliber. I don't know, but yes, he's ranked, but I don't think he's someone that should be fighting Car France right now. But Albazi is the more well-rounded. Can he get this fight to the ground? Who knows? I think he's stronger than Askarov as a whole. When you talk about pure strength, could he get a takedown? Yes. And if he gets a takedown, that's where we're really going to see what Car France is going to do on his back.
Absolutely.
Car, like I said, I love city kickboxing. That's one of my favorite gyms. And the only thing that scares me about this fight is the durability of Car France. He showed it against Marino the second fight where he was winning the fight, piecing him up. Then all it took was one clean body shot that dropped Car
Yep.
France, and then he got the TKO loss.
Yep.
That scares me in this fight because Amir Bassi does have power. He's not the most technical guy, but he has power.
Absolutely. So both of us going with Kai Kara France. And that wraps up those 13 fights.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I like this card. I think it's going to be a good one. Like I said earlier, my lock is Nurmagomedov. I like him everywhere, and the same thing with Malarkey. Don't really got a whole lot else to go with it.
Let me see my lock. I'll make it quick because I'm just trying to. Oh, you said Malarkey. You said Nurmagomedov was your lock, right?
Mhm.
I'm not gonna go a favorite. That's just stupid. I'm gonna try to find a dog. I don't want everyone's on this dog, even though I want him to win. I'm gonna try to. I want to get different so much, but okay, we'll go Victor Altamirano.
I like it. Next week is the UFC card.
Oh, that's the Nunez and Aldana.
That's what I thought. So that's what we got on tap next week. That should be a really good card. The UFC 289 with Nunez and Aldana. Oliveira and Dariush are on that are on that card as well. The rest of it's kind of for a UFC card, but it's neither here nor there. Um, Definitely something to look forward to. I always love watching Nunez fight. Um, as for everything else, I think that covers everything. You got anything else you want to add, Joey?
Um, I know you said who's your hot take? You said Nurma, or is that just your lock?
That's everything. Every piece.
I almost want to say one of my locks, but like I said, I know the dog. I said Alta Moreno. I think at least Reed lights up Jenny Frey.
I'm fine with that too. So, all right. Well, that wraps up this episode. We will catch you guys next week. And thanks always as well for watching.